Hello everyone, I'm Greg Funderburg and I'll be your host on this magical journey in partnership with Artsville called Imagine. Through Imagine, we will introduce you to the arts through performances and exhibits through a whole bunch of cool local arts organizations right here in Chattanooga and of course, Hamilton County. In each of these videos, you'll get an opportunity to see inside and behind the scenes at all of these wonderful arts organizations from visual art, music, dance, theater, and more, so you can experience them like never before. Today we'll be exploring the Southern Lit Alliance, founded in 1952. The Southern Lit Alliance delivers literary arts experiences that encourage people to read and to write. They want to establish Chattanooga as a national model for engaging everyone to be passionate readers and writers. So come along with us as we experience the arts here in our community. Hey everybody, we're at a letterpress shop in Chickamauga, Georgia today, and guess what? I'm talking with Linda, my friend from Southern Lit Alliance. How's it going?
It's good.
It is so good to be talking with you. When I think about this organization, you guys do so much in our community. So for people who don't know, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, we love books, and we really want to make people passionate about reading and writing. And so we bring authors in to talk about their new books. We have writing workshops. The kids may have even participated in one of our programs, the Young Southern Student Writers Competition for kindergarten through 12th grade, where kids submit pieces of poetry or writing and get awards for their great work.
We're here at a letter shop today, and this is a really cool environment because it all started from years ago. The history in putting together pieces of books and things like that, how did it all start?
Oh, well, it's gone back as long as humans. The first written word was done, they think, by people in Mesopotamia in modern Iraq, and they did cuneiform, which was making little marks on clay tablets to record things and remember things. And then later, Egyptians and other ancient people wrote on papyrus, a paper made out of plants, and put them in scrolls. And they used their own little lettering called hieroglyphics, and it looked like little pictures. And that's the way they were able to establish libraries even of all these scrolls. But, you know, that wasn't a great way to read and make notes, and so they invented the book where you used to stack paper and bind it. We have beautiful books from these ancient times, and monks would even handwrite every book, and people couldn't really have them because it had to be handwritten and it was just too expensive. They were beautiful and had illustrations, but it just wasn't available for the masses of people to learn until we had the printing press.
When you look back at the history, how much have things changed since then to now?
Well, then only kings would have a book to read and learn something, and now everybody can have books just going to the library for free.
And when you think about books, there are a number of books out there. How many is it out there right now?
Oh, they estimate 120 billion books have been published.
And counting.
Yeah, and like 130,000 a day are published and printed. So it's everything imaginable available in a book.
When you think about writing a book, for our friends that are watching today, if they want to write a book, what would you say to them?
Oh, start with something you're passionate about and that you really know in your own life or someone close to you, and write about it, how you feel, and explain it and give a description. And it can be just such a great way to express yourself, to write about things in your own world and help you remember.
And we're here in a letter shop, and this is a really cool place. What is it like for you to be in this environment?
Oh, it's really fun. You get to see the letters and how it used to be done years ago, and now how far we've come. The modern printing press that can throw out thousands of pages in a second practically. And yeah, it's just really evolved over just so many centuries.
And today we're going to get a chance to go inside the shop and see some behind the scenes. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm excited.
Let's go. Before we had modern machines, people used to copy books by hand. This letterpress printing shop has printing machines that are over 100 years old. These letterpress machines create books by using metal letters called type. The letter types are arranged by hand in the correct order on a metal holder like this. These tiny letter types are made out of a metal called brass and come in different sizes.
Letters are made out of brass. They're a mold, and you assemble the line. I'm going to assemble your name. Assemble the name. From this, we can put that line in a form, build a form, and put it in the press and print from it.
Each of these letters has to be placed one by one in a row to create a word and then a sentence. Once the letters are placed in the correct order, they are put into the machines. In order for the letters to be stamped or pressed facing the right way on the paper, they have to be mirrored. That means they look backwards. But when they are soaked in ink and pressed against the paper, the letter will be facing the right way. Wow. As the printing press machine starts, the letters get wet ink on them and then pressed into the paper. That's when the printing has happened. That's why this is called letterpress printing. This letterpress machine, which is nearly 100 years old, will even create the letters itself as you type on it and place each letter into the correct order. Can you imagine how much time this saved people who used to copy books by hand? This invention saved printers a lot of time because it meant you didn't have to copy every letter in order by hand. It creates the letters and sets them in the right order all by itself. Thank you, my friend, for showing us around. I really appreciate it. I've learned so much, and I'm sure my friends have learned a lot as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Unlike the old way of printing, which uses actual metal letters dipped in ink, the process of modern printing uses computers.
We are moving on to see how modern books and magazines are printed like you have at home. We are at Starkey Printing, and I have John Shadden, who's the owner of the printing business, who's going to show us actually how it goes from the computer to printing and put together today.
First, the customer sends what needs to be printed. Next, the printer prepares the computer file to be printed and gives the computer instructions for printing.
In our business today, most of the work that we print today, the artwork, the design, the files are already developed or made. This is laid out or designed by our customer, by their employees. And what goes into that phase that we're not a part of typically is that you'll have a photographer. Obviously a product like this is full of photography, so you got to have a photographer. There's a lot of words, there's a lot of articles in a magazine. Someone's got to write those articles. So in the putting it together on the front end, you've got to have your tools, you've got to have your photography, you've got to have your articles. Then you've got a graphics designer that's been trained on programs to lay jobs out, in this case, like we said, in design. Then it will go to the design department, in this example with our customer, that will take her components or his components to photography. The articles that have been keyboard in Word or typeset, if you want to call it that, then they'll go through and they'll do the layout process. And that's a timely process. It takes weeks, literally, sometimes months, to put together a project like this.
To prepare a computer file to be printed, the printing company looks over the files with a graphic designer to make sure the words line up correctly on the paper once the printing begins. After the graphic designer checks to make sure everything is ready to print, the first thing that is printed is a sample. This sample is called a proof. Once the customer makes sure that the sample looks how they want it to, they approve the sample, and the printer will begin getting ready to print thousands of these exact same samples. Today, they're printing a magazine. To get ready to print thousands of copies of the magazine, the pre-press department prepares to begin. This is where the sample magazine starts to turn into thousands of more magazines that people can buy at the store. In the pre-press department, the team begins by making plates. These plates are large metal pieces that go through a printing machine in 4 different stages. This machine has 4 different plates that print the 4 main colors onto each large sheet of paper. The colors are black, blue, red, and yellow. Once the large paper goes through all the plates, it collects all the 4 different colors needed. Now the colors look like real life.
Colors are laid down individually. It's kind of like making your sandwich. It's actually the colors lay on top of each other and they build like that. So there's 4 units, if you want to refer to them that way, on your press. So what we're looking at here is that at this stage of the process is called the setup or make ready process. So what the pressman has done, he's taken the metal plates that we've talked about previously and shown, and he's actually placed them on the press. Now, the plate is very important in the process because during the 4 steps here, each color is being laid down or picked up or transferred to that plate, which in turn will transfer the ink to your paper. So what we have is now, here's the unit or the section of the press that will print, as you can see here, the yellow ink. Here, the unit will be printing the red ink. Here, it'll be printing the blue ink. And then finally, here we're printing the black ink. So this is the progress in the printing stages: black, blue, red, yellow. This obviously is the finished product.
Now that the large sheets of papers are all printed, it's time for these to head over to the bindery department where each sheet of paper will get folded together. Once they're all folded, it's time to cut off the extra paper around the edges. Once the folding and cutting is done, the magazines are stapled together, then wrapped in plastic wrap, and the printing job is finished.
Wow, thanks John so much for showing all the parts to putting this together. That was really interesting, and I can't wait to get my hands on a new book.
Well, thank you. We're just glad that we were part of doing this video and hope everybody enjoys it. Thank you a lot.
What a great trip we took today. Be sure to share your journey today with your friends and family, and join us right here next time for an exciting local arts adventure.